Chris Brown is one of our most iconic pop stars in today's generation after Michael Jackson. We will do a breakdown of Chris's interview on the R&B Money Podcast and give some thoughts. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Affirmated TV. Don't forget to subscribe for more Affirmated content and education.
Welcome to Affirmated TV's This Is What You Missed podcast, where we discuss the most trending topics and news of the week.
When did you really get into the business of, like, start owning the business of all of that? Because that's what people really don't know about you.
I think
it's how you
sell me a Burger King next time.
own the business of all of this.
I did that first, and I would be like, I was 17 when I started trying to invest in certain things, just because I knew, like, you know, unless you torn, unless you, like, you don't know how long you're gonna be successful, and it's not like every artist can make it look like they getting money. If you're not a touring act, if you're not doing stuff, you need an exit strategy. So I would have, like, you know, the business people around me at the time, can't say they were good at the time, but you know, my investments were like into Burger Kings and stuff like that, just so I could have a portfolio of and you know, constant income. You know, so that was my first step. But when I really started getting into, like, the music side, like the executive side, it was like I was 25, and what happened was Loyal and all these other records had already been blowing up. So, and I was almost out of my contract. So I was able to negotiate. I was like, well, cool. Well, now that I have leverage as an actual not an artist, I don't want to be an artist. I want to be 50-50 profit share with you guys. Yeah.
As Chris became successful in the music industry, as mentioned, he discovered in his mid-20s that he could get 50-50 profit share for future music he created. This is great that he had the willingness to learn about how the industry worked and how he could end up financially on top in the long-term game by doing his part. He is a very smart and strategic man. A lot of people want all of their money up front while neglecting the fact that they need to prove themselves and be the absolute best. Chris hits on this point in the rest of the clip. Make sure you hit the notification bell for when we release future videos.
I want to have the same deal Birdman got with Universal. Yeah, you know, I ask around trying to figure it out so I don't have to be getting, you know, cents on the dollar.
Right.
Like, you know,
just living off of advances.
You get what I'm saying? So from there, that was my first step. Boom. And then I think they were like, oh, and then they kind of like, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it. And I'm like, shit. Damn, I'm like the youngest nigga with this deal right here. I don't think nobody knows, you know. So that was my first step. Then after that was me trying to own my masters. So I think when I was like 27 or 28, like by that time, it was renegotiation time, and I was like, hey, cool, I still want this, but let me get my masters from here. From I think from my Fame album and up. I said, let me get the masters from there, and then I'm able to come back and negotiate, you know, in 6 years for the first album and all of my shit.
Gotcha.
So being able to have that type of structured deal, like, shout out to Mark Pitts again, you know what I'm saying? Peter Edge, everybody that was, you know, everybody that really kind of like looked and said, you know, we'll give him this deal. And Barry Weiss, like, he put the shit down. Like, he the one that kind of allowed me to be like, you know what? Here, fuck it, kid, take it.
Yeah.
You got it.
I mean, you have made them so much money.
But let's also speak on that. Let's not just breeze over that.
Yeah.
The fact that you understood, though, I gotta prove myself first, because now we have these new artists who come into the game thinking they can own the masters. Yeah. Like, why would I let you have the masters, or why would you deserve your masters in the beginning if someone is actually making the initial investment?
Yeah,
and they're
not worth nothing,
and they're not worth anything. So somebody walking into the door saying, "Well, I own my masters." Okay, well, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how to license it? Is there any distribution for it? And is it worth anything?
Yeah.
In the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So you were able to say, "Hey, listen, now I want from fame ongoing, and now I'll put myself in position because I'll continue to be successful.
Yeah.
To come back again, renegotiate.
Yeah.
And get those initial albums as well.
Yeah.
That's just smart business.
Yeah.
And I think
betting on yourself. The best bet.
And betting on yourself.
The best
but
bet.
I think people want to skip the steps.
Yeah.
And say, oh, well, this label, this, like, listen, labels are going to be what they are.
Labels are going to, they're
banks, and that's what they do. But they also have infrastructure to put you in a place that's unimaginable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think you should be, for lack of a better term, a poster boy of like, listen, just be successful.
Just be great.
You'll be great.
Yeah.
You'll get everything you're supposed to out of this shit.
Yeah. And get the right lawyers. Make sure your lawyers is looking over your contracts.
Gotta have a great lawyer.
Yeah. And so you got to make sure everybody, you know, when I was young, I was fortunate enough to be saved on certain things, but my deals weren't always great. So once I was able to be more independent, it's like, look, I got a little bit more leverage now. And they didn't, you know, they made all this money and all that. So I'm more like, you know, I'm able to now see real money or see.
If you liked this video, make sure you check out our other videos on the channel, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future content.